All right, my friends, today is January the 27th. It is Monday morning, a couple hours into the New York session. Let's do the market outlook and plans for the week ahead. First thing that we want to discuss is that Wednesday we have the FOMC. In the absence of a narrative right now, that's probably going to be, one of the main talking points for us this week, apart from all the other kind of news elements that are coming out, which is probably a good segue into the first conversation I wanted to have on the macro. I've already kind of alluded to this a little bit, put out some posts about this and whatnot, but basically, we're in the Trump meta now. So basically you want to be expecting, the variance to be far higher than it ever was. Every day we're going to have new information coming in and people are going to be scrambling to react to it. Your approach basically either needs to be the crackhead news trader where you're fast and taking profit immediately, or you just aim to not really care that much. Yo guys, hit that like and subscribe button for me. Appreciate it. I'm going to really not be taking in a lot of the information that comes in every day until my plan's invalidated, which I'm gonna go over those details here later on in the video. But until I'm invalidated, I'm just gonna put the horse blinders on, so to speak, and just not really care about all the macro yapping. It's not gonna contribute positively to my decision making. Yes, there's a potential that I think my positions are gonna be invalidated here very soon, but the thesis isn't. So we'll go ahead and explain that later on. First thing that we want to discuss from a macro standpoint is, what's going to happen in Q1. Am I still bullish Q1? Much to some of you guys' surprise, primarily because of what we've seen on social media recently, I'm still bullish for Q1. You look at this structurally, everything I could say about this, from a VWAP standpoint, from a market structure, composite structure, basically every kind of way that I view Bitcoin, it all still tells me the same thing, that we're going to trade up. So all this crying and tears and stuff, I get it. Like, some of the drawdown on some of our alts has been shitty. I get that, but the end all be all for crypto is always Bitcoin, and to me, this still looks really good. So I'll cover some alternative scenarios here when we get to medium time frame, but it really is as simple as long as we're over 100K, I think that we still have opportunity to trade up here. If we lose 100K, that's going to basically be invalidation. Everybody's going to be looking at 100K. So that basically means is that if we're gonna lose 100K and trade down, that we're probably gonna just teleport through it. It's not like we're gonna have a lot of time to say, we lost 100K, I'm gonna get a perfect retest of 100K from 99 and close out my long. Like, no, it's probably gonna be something that's quick and a lot uglier than that, frankly. Because to be clear, everybody's looking at 100K right now. It doesn't matter what kind of trader you are. I made the mistake of thinking that we're gonna break out of this range quicker than we should have, and I did a lot of thinking the past day, and I'm gonna make a real effort to return to my roots with the auction market theory mindset of just being basically an absolute robot about it, where when you're in the range, you always expect the range to be sideways longer than you want it to be, right? And I had a little bit of hopeful optimism going into Q1 that we would have broken out already. Frankly, it's only been like 27 days or whatever, so it's really not even been that bad. But yeah, closing thoughts on macro conversation are basically, I think that we're probably going to continue to trade down a little bit lower from where we're at right now, but that's going to ultimately end up giving us a similar kind of environment to where we were at in the summertime, right? For those of you guys that have listened for a long time, right, it's the same exact thing playing out over and over again. We're in these kind of stages now, basically, where we're really making people capitulate and give up. Structurally, this is actually much more healthy structure than this. This is outright bearish structuring over here, but this is still arguably pretty bullish structuring. Not that I necessarily care that much about that, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the macro conversation. Hopefully that's all clear. TLDR is there are no major changes from the thesis. From a positioning standpoint, though, reasonable expectation that things are going to change for me from a positioning standpoint. Okay, medium time frame looks a lot more bearish than the high time frame does, and this is one of the main things that's concerning me. So basically, this anchored VWAP from when I originally went long has been flipped bearishly now. So that is one of my big warning signs right now. So as it stands, it looks like we're gonna, reaccept back into this range, and that, I'm, gonna have to basically reevaluate and look to long from lower again. So I really think that we're playing out very, very similarly to the summertime range. I'm gonna throw this out there. I'll make this call. I think that this drive, no matter, how far we go, whether we fully reaccept back into here and we're trading all the way back to the 90s, or maybe even, you know, this is, you know, just ends up being kind of a deviation of the range. Either of these kind of scenarios, I really think that this is the final kind of sell wave before we leg. I hopefully haven't said anything like that before recently. I don't think I have. I'm really getting that vibe though that we're at the end. The problem is with that though is that we could in the short term trade down a lot lower. There's no reason to think that we couldn't trade down to 92 or something like that, right? You know, we have clearly failed to break out. So that basically means that the likelihood of you know, attacking this area is reasonably high. I don't want that to be the case, but you know, the market doesn't give it two shits about what we want. So yeah, check my notes on medium time frame. You know, so this structure has been super bullish throughout, and this is definitely representing the first period of structural shift for me. Now, granted, if you look back at the summertime range or even look back at this range, right, caring a lot about like local structuring, you know, we only care about structural shifts right now for just positioning over the next couple of days, right? You don't necessarily care about this for invalidating like Q1 thesis or something, to be clear, right? This just is making me worried for like this week, you know, not for the next 6 months. Altcoins. So altcoins for the most part are obviously piss right now, right? So I don't have too much to say on altcoins. The one positive thing I can say is thank God for OM. I don't know what caused this, but I got some alerts the other day on like Saturday or whatever, and holy fuck, they sent this thing. I really liked, you know, I wasn't going to try to shill OM on Twitter a lot. I think it's not the most liquid coin, but, you know, the fact that OM refused to trade down when much of the market fully retraced their breakouts and we're down here, and this thing refused to break down. So I don't actually even remember where my average spot entry on this thing was. I need to go look at my account, but definitely happy that I have at least one coin going up right now. Yeah, a lot of coins are just getting straight up obliterated right now. I won't lie. XRP is the other one that doesn't look terrible to me. I still feel good about holding spot on XRP. Had a fucking insane perp trade on this thing last week, or maybe it was the week before that. I don't remember. It was last week. Anyways, as far as altcoins go, you know, I can't sit here and preach optimism about any of these things. A lot of them have high time frame bull structure still, so that's great. But medium time frame structure is going to be absolutely just cooked on these things right now. So I can't advocate for buying them. If you were like looking for risk, the only sensible risk right now to even be looking for is for Bitcoin, right? And that'll be my mindset too, right? Whenever I think that this selling wave is over, which I don't think is over yet. Whenever it's over, I'm going to make that kind of effort to look for Bitcoin first, and then maybe look to send alts, right? Because I do, again, closing thoughts on all this kind of yap. Still think we're going to have a bull Q1. We just got to make it through this wave right here. So yeah, obviously we're in a wild regime right now. I think that this kind of craziness from headlines and stuff will dampen. I think we're at like this is the period where the market's readjusting, recalibrating to the news cycle, and that things will kind of stabilize a little bit moving forward. But yeah, I mean, even though we'll stabilize, we're going to be in the Trump regime, the Trump meta of randomness and extra variance and stuff. So the best way to plan accordingly for that is to try not to operate very much on the medium time frame and do most of your operation on either super low or super high time frame. In the middle is where it's going to be the most difficult, I think. That's where the news and the new information is going to fuck people the hardest, right? You're in a trade, things are coming in great, you sit in it for 3 days, news comes in and invalidates your trade, right? When if you were just on the shorter time, that could have been a successful trade before the news came in. So anyways, I'll stop yapping. Thanks everybody. Good luck out there.